Hi everyone, today I want to talk about a new pen. It's a Desiderata Flex Pen. This pen is kind of interesting because it's not really a fountain pen. It is a pen that has a feed, an ink sac, and a section just like a fountain pen, but it uses a steel dip nib. So how it works is just like a fountain pen. So you have your steel nib, in this case a Zebra G, and there is the eye hole, and the eye hole is where the ink should go. And usually when you dip it, you gotta dip it past the eye hole, and then you can write, and then again and again. What this pen does is it comes with a feed, and there's a little channel or a groove where the ink goes, so it's supposed to fit right past the eye hole, so it goes past. So the idea is the ink and everything will feed it through to the nib, to the feed, which then feeds the nib, just like a fountain pen. You can like push it further or a little less, depending on the flow you want, but me, I like it right on it. So that's that, and you get this combo and you put it into the section. It's just basically like a tube with a hole in it, and this thing goes inside and it fits perfectly. You see, you hold it together, and on this end is where the sac goes, and it goes right in there and it fits perfectly. And then you get the barrel, you twist it in, and you get the cap and you twist that in, so you have a portable steel nib with its own supply of ink. So that's the idea behind the Desiderata pen. And you don't need to do anything. The ink is supposed to go through to the nib naturally through capillary action. So before I proceed, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, oh, does this work with other nibs? So real quick, I'm gonna share with you my experimentation. This pen is designed for the Zebra G, so it fits perfect with the Zebra G. And if you are familiar with steel nibs, you'll know that they come with all shapes and sizes. So some of them are going to work, some of them are not going to work. So to save you time and lots of spilled ink, I'm going to tell you my experience. The first nib that I tried is of course the Nikko G, which is kind of like the sister to the Zebra. They're made by the same company, but I just like the Nikko better, just a personal preference, and I was really hoping that it would fit in this pen. So again, you put the feed on and try to push it in. It looks like it fits, but unfortunately it's just a little too big. I could try and force it in, but I don't want to damage it. I gotta return this pen. So unfortunately, I gotta say that the Nikko G is just a little too big. I tried a Leonardt principle. This is another favorite of mine. Unfortunately, just by looking at it, it's too small. It's not gonna fit. Not only is it too small, it's kind of like narrow, so it doesn't fit at all. It won't even go into the section. Now there's no point trying to force a nib into this, because first of all, it's got to fit perfect. and there should not be any, you know, moving parts, because otherwise the ink is just gonna leak, right? So it has to be absolutely perfect. So the Leonardt principle is out. Next, I tried a Browse Rose. This is another favorite. It flexes very well. And it looks like it could fit. And actually it feels like it could fit. Look. But I don't know. It presses it a little too hard, that the tines are splayed. So the Browse Rose is a very sensitive nib. It's already a pain to use, and any little pressure would splay the tines, which means that, you know, the tines are not close together. And when the tines are not close together, it's impossible to write with. It's already a very impossible nib, so this is just like a heart attack waiting to happen. So it looks like it fits, but trust me, it doesn't. You can try it, but it was very frustrating to try and get it to work. So I'm not gonna try. I also tried an Esterbrook 357. This is a vintage nib, and to my surprise, it actually fits perfect, and it works fine as well. However, there are a few points against it. The eye hole on an Esterbrook 357 is kind of high up, so that means that the feed has to be pretty high as well, and so that leaves very little space for the nib to flex. It works, but you can't really flex very much with it. And also the Esterbrook 357 is the metal is not as durable as a Zebra, so, and also it's more expensive. So when it comes to these two, I think the Zebra is a better choice, because first of all, this pen is made around the Zebra, but also because it is chrome plated. It's made in Japan, and this nib is chrome plated, and it lasts significantly longer than this nib. So you're welcome to try other nibs and see if they work, but personally I still go back to the Zebra G. Recently they came out with a new kind of Zebra G, titanium. So that's chrome plated, and the new Zebra G is titanium, and it's a little gold compared to the silver. I'm not sure if you can see, but you can buy this on Amazon, and I've tried them both and they work similar. However, the titanium G is supposed to work last 4 times longer than the chrome one, so that's just perfect because we want it to last long, right? So for this review, I'm going to be using the titanium one. As is the case with every steel nib, before using, it's important to clean it of its factory oils. So every nib that you buy new comes with a coating of oil on it to prevent rust and, you know, sticking together. So it's important to remove it. You can use dish soap or, you know, toothpaste or whatever, or I'm using rubbing alcohol right now. So now this is clean, and I'm gonna set it up in the pen. Again, the eye hole, and positioning the feed, and then putting it in, and you gotta push it in pretty deep, nicely. So now I'm going to fill the pen. You gotta have a bottle of ink, and I'm going to use Noodler's X Feather. And what you do is put the nib into the ink and then press the sac several times. So the idea is that it creates a vacuum for the ink to be sucked through the nib and into the sac. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put it all the way in and kind of like, so right now it's empty. I'm going to press it several times. You hear it bubbling a little and it's full. Easy peasy. And just clean off the excess ink. And there it is. So this is the pen, all loaded and ready to go. It's made of a very nice fine wood, which I believe Pierre turned himself. It's lacquered very nicely, and I like that because if you like spill any ink on it, you can simply wipe it off. Very nice. There is a roll stop, so you know it stops the pen from rolling away. No cap. It's pretty light. However, I'm quite sorry to say that it's not supposed to leak. Maybe I got a faulty pen, but it does leak in my case from the roll stop, so I don't know why. Maybe yours won't, but mine does. I don't know why. Once uncapped, a little bit of scribbling starts it up well, and once you feel like the ink is moving, then it's ready to go. So you see, I'm just like pressing, and the feed is doing its work really well. And I'm gonna try and write something. One thing that I really like about this pen is that when you go at a decent speed, it doesn't railroad very much. The Zebra G is capable of flexing very thickly, but you gotta remember the feed needs time to travel. Well, the ink needs time to travel from the sac to the section and through the feed. So sometimes it needs a little bit of encouragement. One way to do that is to have a little water near you and just dip it into the water, and that will immediately encourage the ink to flow through. So I did that, so now the ink is flowing. I find that it also helps to write a little slower. Another way to encourage the ink is to kind of like shake it a little. This will create droplets, but that means that the ink will come out much faster and you can just write. So if you don't have any water heavy ready, you can just shake it a little and the flow should improve. That was my dog. So as you can see, once it gets going, you know, it writes pretty well. It's just sometimes it railroads a little, and maybe it's a new nib, or maybe I didn't set the feed well enough, or what, I don't know. So it's not like super perfect, but I think, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I really like this pen, and I'm thinking of getting one myself. It's not perfect, and I think it is a pen that needs a little bit of getting used to. It does tend to railroad a little bit. I'm not sure why. I've tried maybe fixing the feed, like pushing it out, pushing it in. Maybe it's the kind of ink I'm using. Maybe I'm going too fast. But I think maybe I'm just, you know, picking on something that's minor. Because when it does flow, it creates a very nice wet line. So it's it is indeed a very nice flow. When it does this. So anyway, if you're a calligrapher, I think you might like this pen. It's, of course, it's not going to replace, you know, your regular dipping habit. But if you're in a coffee shop and you just want to like mess around with the pen, then this is nice. It's very nice to be able to like practice writing with it. If you're a fountain pen user and you want to, you know, fool around with the steel nib, then I think you would really like it. And maybe a fountain pen user can figure out the railroading stuff, and let me know. If you're an artist, I think you'll like it very much, because artists, you know, you probably don't need to like flex that much. So if you're just doing like little minimal flexing, then this pen is just perfect, you know. And you see the line is very wet, very nice. By the way, this pen only uses fountain pen ink, so you're not supposed to use like iron gel or sumi or Indian ink or anything like that. So if you're a fountain pen, if you're an artist, you're just doing fine lines, then this pen is just perfect. If you're just going to write, you know, stuff like that, it's perfect. If you're just gonna do like minimal flexing, maybe just for a capital like Spencerian, then this is absolutely perfect. Like just once, or twice occasionally, then it's great. But if you want to do like a full-on shaded writing, you know, it does work, but just be prepared for a little bit of hiccup here and there. I'm just like messing around now. Maybe I'm too picky, I don't know.